A video plays on a cracked phone screen. A pastor, young, sweating, collar torn, is recording himself. Behind him, a village road. His hands won't stop shaking. If anyone finds this, don't come here. Don't let them send anyone else. This place is not, it's not. A sound off camera. Like dragging. Like something heavy being pulled across dry earth. The pastor looks behind him. He screams. The video ends. The church headquarters of the Redeemed Evangelical Mission sat on a busy Lagos street, sandwiched between a pharmacy and a pepper soup joint. From the outside, it looked like a place where ordinary decisions were made. Inside, today, no one felt ordinary. Bishop Adiz Okonkwo, 62 years old, silver-haired, built like a woman who had outlasted every storm that tried her, sat at the head of the long table and said nothing for a full minute after the video finished playing. Her assistant, Brother Festus, cleared his throat. That's the third one, Bishop. Pastor Namdi is currently at the Federal Neuropsychiatric Hospital in Benin. The doctors say. I know what the doctors say. She didn't look up. They said the same thing about Bright. And Chukwuemeka. Bishop. Festus leaned forward. Perhaps Akwa is simply not the right assignment. Not yet. Maybe in time. In time. She repeated it slowly, like tasting something bitter. In time, how many more of that village die without the word? In time, how many children grow up believing that darkness is all there is? Silence. Send a call, she said finally. Open application. Any ordained minister willing to volunteer for a difficult rural posting. Don't mention Akwa by name. She looked out the window. Let's see who God sends us. Emmanuel Obi was 34 years old and had never been afraid of the dark. This was not bravery. It was history. When you grew up in a house where your father came home drunk and angry every night, you learned quickly that the real monsters didn't hide under beds. They sat at dining tables. They wore familiar faces. The dark, by comparison, was almost peaceful. He was mopping the church floor when Brother Festus found him, because Emmanuel was always the last to leave, always doing something no one asked him to do. He had been an assistant pastor for 6 years. No congregation of his own. No title worth mentioning at family gatherings. His mother called it wasted potential. He called it preparation. There's a posting, Festus said, handing him the flyer with the careful neutrality of a man delivering news he didn't want to deliver. Remote. Rural. They need someone willing. Emmanuel read it once. Put the mop down. When do I leave? Festus blinked. Don't you want to know where it is? Does it matter? A long pause. It might, Festus said quietly. It really might. Bishop Adiz met with Emmanuel privately the evening before his departure. She told him everything. All 3 pastors. The video. The hospital. The village called Akwa that sat 3 hours north of Enugu, tucked between 2 hills like something the rest of the country had agreed not to talk about. She told him about the chief. The one they called Iki Izoji, Lord of the Dark Tree, an old man who had ruled Akwa for as long as anyone could remember. Longer, some said, than was naturally possible. She told him about the thing that happened every harvest season. The way families locked their doors. The sounds from the hills. She told him everything except her real fear, which was that she was sending this calm, quiet, mop-carrying young man to a place she privately believed might kill him. Emmanuel listened to all of it without flinching. Then he asked, Is there anyone still praying in that village? She hesitated. One woman. A widow. Mama Eka. She's been faithful for 20 years. Completely alone. He nodded slowly. Then the door is already open. Someone just has to walk through it. She handed him an envelope. Travel money. A letter of authorization. And at the bottom of the envelope, something she'd never given any pastor before, a handwritten note with a single sentence. Come back alive. The bus to Akwa left Enugu at 5 a.m. Emmanuel was the only passenger going all the way to the final stop. He noticed this because by the time they hit the last stretch of road, unpaved, red-earthed, cutting between trees that grew thick and close, the other passengers had all found reasons to get off early. One man realized he'd forgotten something in Enugu. A woman remembered a cousin in a village they'd passed 30 minutes ago. No one made eye contact with Emmanuel as they left. The driver dropped him at a junction marked by a single wooden sign, Letters faded to near invisibility.
Akwa, 2 chilometri.
I don't go further, the driver said, not unkindly. He was looking straight ahead. Nothing personal, Pastor. Just, I don't go further. Emmanuel thanked him, picked up his single bag, and walked. The village appeared slowly, like something being reluctantly revealed. First the smell, wood smoke and something older underneath it, earthy and sharp. Then the sound of chickens, of a child's distant laugh that stopped abruptly. Then the rooftops, thatched and sun-worn, arranged around a central clearing where a giant, blackened tree stood alone. The dark tree. He recognized it from the bishop's description. It was enormous, ancient, its trunk wider than 3 men standing, its branches spreading over the clearing like hands. No leaves. Completely bare, but somehow giving the impression of being deeply, stubbornly alive. Around its roots, Emmanuel noticed, there were things. Small bundles. Wrapped in cloth. Positioned with deliberate care. He did not stare. He had learned from his reading that some doors should not be knocked on unnecessarily. He asked the first person he saw, a teenage boy carrying firewood, for directions to Mama Eka's compound. The boy looked at his Bible. Then at his face. Then at his Bible again. Then, without a word, the boy turned around and walked quickly in the opposite direction. He found Mama Eka by following the sound of singing. She was in her compound, washing clothes, singing a hymn so softly it was almost private, like a conversation rather than a performance. She was small, fine-boned, with the quiet confidence of someone who had decided a long time ago that she would not be moved. She looked up when his shadow fell across her, assessed him in 3 seconds. "You're the new one," she said. Not a question. "Pastor Emmanuel. From Lagos." She nodded slowly. "How much did they tell you?" "Everything, I think." She turned back to her washing. They never tell them everything. Watch out for part 2. Like, subscribe and comment on the video. And tell me what you think they never told Emmanuel. Stay tuned for more.